6 weeks ago, if you'd asked me whether deer could ooze, I'd think you were a lunatic. Now, I clean up deer ooze every couple of days. Like today, I come into Agnes's garden for work, and there's a doe lying crumpled in the tomato patch, with the front half of her head melted into a ripe-smelling puddle. Somewhere in the goo, I know there's a partly chewed tomato I'll have to dig out and put in the hazardous bio-waste bin. The rest of the ooze should be fine for regular trash, once I wash it with something to neutralize the acid. Agnes says once the face-melting agent does its thing, it releases all of its potential energy in the process, so whatever tiny tomato bits are left in the ooze should be totally inert. I'm not sure I understand what this means exactly, even though she made me repeat it back to her several times. The gist I get from it is, I don't have to put the ooze in the has-bin, and it's not going to melt anything furry anymore. She tried to explain the fur-activated mechanism of her face-melting vegetables, but by then I'm pretty sure my eyes glazed over. Fur or no fur, I always wear the thickest gloves I have when I'm handling this crud. The garden shed I use is filled with the usual tools: hose, trowels, spare pots, fertilizer, etc. But there's also a hacksaw, specially coated buckets, and large jugs of chemicals that God never intended to be used for gardening. I'm obsessive about keeping the shed neat to avoid spectacularly fatal accidents, but today is unusual because Agnes is expecting company. This means her more unfriendly experiments are all being stashed temporarily in the shed, so it takes me about twice as long to get my deer ooze cleanup gear.